So hello and welcome everybody. I think that maybe Maria can close the door now when she came in and it's 00 and we know that several people will march in next 10 minutes, but we don't mind. Hi everybody, welcome to all the mistakes we made in role-playing games. I am Massi Hannula Thorhauge and I have been running this program item maybe 5 or 6 years at Ropecon. Normally we are on Saturday evening when we have already made several mistakes at Ropecon also as well. But for reasons I will explain you during my fantastic slideshow, you know why we are on Friday. Few words about me. I am a Finnish LARP producer and organizer who lives in Denmark. For the mistakes I made a Danish man in Sweden. It is very nice, but takes me away from Finland. This program item was originally run in Knutpunkt, the Nordic LARP conference, Solmukohta in Finnish. And it is a concept made by Rasmus Högbø. I am really bad with his name. I really don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry, Rasmus. I'm really sorry. This has been going on for, 6 years? But let's talk about why we talk about our mistakes. That is because we all make mistakes. Even the organizers of 30 years of festival or Ropecon or whatnots make mistakes, and that is perfectly fine. Players of hundreds and hundreds of LARPs and role-playing games make little stupid mistakes, but they also make mistakes that could be avoidable maybe. So how we talk about these mistakes is that I collect few, always 3, or at least try, experienced LARP organizers, role-playing dungeon masters, convention organizers, renowned players from the Finnish or international scene to talk about their mistakes. Mistakes often are really funny if they're not like super disastrous. And it is funny to talk about them afterwards. Why do we talk and laugh to them is that we do not need to invent the wheel again. Because seriously, we can avoid these wheels and we really can do this. But when we talk about them and laugh about them, it is not really shameful. It is really okay to fuck up. It's okay to say fuck up, right, in the live stream. Yes. It is perfectly all right to fuck up, and this is why we laugh about them. Well, I have made mistakes. Several. And if you go to Ropecon's YouTube channel, you can find most of my mistakes there, because I've been talking about them for several years. So I am going to talk about a mistake that is concerning what is going on in this head and why this program item is not on Saturday evening. This is me and my little brother. Several years ago, as you can see, there was a beautiful and young. I'm still young and beautiful. Yes. And this is me during the weekend of his confirmation. This is a Christian celebration in Finland for when people are 15 and do some stuff. Well, this is me during his confirmation weekend. I wasn't there for him. Some people might recognize this is a Ropecon after party. Some people might recognize some people in the picture. I tried to cover their faces. That is definitely not beer. I was definitely celebrating with my little brother, as we can see, and not organizing Ropecon. Yeah, to be honest, I didn't miss his whole celebration. I was there for the church part, I think. I might have been busy afterwards doing all kind of other things like drinking beer with Heidi Saunevirta, not present in the picture. So, how is this relevant now? Well, guess who is fucking getting married tomorrow? My little brother is getting married tomorrow, and how did he come to me about this? Well, you know that Ropecon is organized on the weekend when it's Saturday, the 29th of July. Well, guess who's getting married then? I love him, I really do. And I would have been doing exactly the same. I'm pretty sure this is not the only reason, but I really love the way he presented this reason to me. I don't know, is this actually in a way a mistake? In a way it is, because do not lose friends and family over Ropecon or over role-playing conventions or LARPs. That'd be stupid. They will get back to you. Yes. My first speaker is experienced Finnish LARP organizers with many talents. She has once, I have a notebook here. I have heard that she has organized many LARPs, or I know that she has organized many LARPs, and she was supposed to talk with me last year, but couldn't attend, and that was my mistake. So now she is here, and she will talk about mistakes she has made in role-playing games. RIIKKA.
Okay, thank you. So I found role-playing games, live-action role-playing games, about 19 years ago. And I was organizing my very first game, Tuppula, year 2002. I can see many faces who were there. I'm really sorry about it. Jukka, you also, if you're somewhere here. We had for 2 beginner games. We have never organized LARP before. We had attended some, like 5, and it was 2002, so let's remember that. So it was just 2 of us. We wrote all the characters, we were making the food, and we didn't really realize what you need to do before the game at the location. So we were actually, night before the game, we were, you know, sewing curtains to the windows because we wanted nice curtains at the location. That was between Friday and Saturday night when the game was starting Saturday morning. Oh well, no problem. We had some friendly players helping us out, but next time we knew that, okay, we will prepare some props beforehand, not at the location. Really smart thing to do. Also, we heard that there's this thing called Suoli. Okay, they are thinking about coming to some game somewhere else than Helsinki and have their meeting. Okay, let's invite them here. We did have some wise people saying that perhaps you shouldn't because this is your first game you're organizing. Well, we didn't believe that. Okay, go ahead, come here. This is our very first game. Come and see how the LARPs are at Oulu. Well, they traveled. There was like 6 or 7 people, and there was really scary people. For example, that guy over there. I'm really sorry about it. However, just before we had the briefing before the game, I was looking for my partner in crime, and I noticed she has disappeared. Someone told me, "Oh, she can't speak in public." Okay, welcome everyone. She was crying in the forest. I hope that she had said to me beforehand that she's not able to speak in public. I can do that, no problem. Yep. So the game started while she was still crying in the forest, I think. Sorry about that also. In the middle of the game, we were thinking, okay, this is going straight to hell. They are not having fun. This is not working. The game is not working. What will you do? Peli seis. Peli loppu. Game over. And all the players say, what are you doing? Well, this is going straight to hell. But we want to continue. Okay, game on. So we thought they weren't having fun, so we decided that, okay, that's it. But I don't know if you had any fun, but yeah, they did play the game. And I learned a lot. For example, don't do everything on your own. It's okay to ask help. If you're new, it's really okay to ask help and ask someone, hey, we are planning this game. Could you help us out and read through our plans? Does this sound smart, our plan? I did learn that from that. Next one went a lot better. Then we jumped to year 2011. So 9 years later. It was my big project, my dream child, CALEION. I had been working with the world and everything for 6 years or something like that. I had everything planned out so well, and then I started to recruit people to work with me. I got my friends working, okay, you and you, we will write your characters and we will do this and that. And everything was in the beginning going quite well. But then about 2 months before the game, 1 month before the game, I was like, okay, I had this feeling that everything isn't really working well. That, okay, we are a bit behind everything and characters are late and this is late and that is late. And I wasn't having fun actually doing the game at all. Not at all. I was trying to follow up the whole project and write my own characters. I had about 10 characters to write, not that much. Except I got my characters ready in time. 2 weeks before the game, I was, yes, I'm ready with my characters. And I found out that we had multiple game masters who were not ready with their characters. And during next week and a half, I wrote 14 characters more. Never again. What I learned about this, if I'm doing big projects, I know I have good ideas and I have the imagine how everything should look like. But I am not the person to follow up that everyone is doing their job. I can make perfect plans. This is a timetable. This is how things should be done. But I am not the person to follow that it's done. So next time, please, if I'm planning to do something like this again, please tell me. Don't. Get someone to look after the timetable. It was 2011. Then we come to Jokisilta, when I made that mistake again. So, in addition to that mistakes which I made in 2011, so I was following up the project. I did have some extra hands, so it was a bit easier, but following up timetable, the characters getting ready, well, and everyone is doing what I expect them to do. I trusted people that they will do what I asked them to do, and I did not follow up, and that was my mistake. Everything went about well. One new mistake I made in this game was, okay, I had this amazing idea. Everyone can play exactly the characters they have always wanted to play. They can plan their characters. Okay, let's have a game for 50 people. And then I made Facebook event, booked the location, and suddenly I have 300 people interested. And when to sign up, okay, if I can get more game masters, we will make a bigger game. Yeah, that was a good idea. So 5 game masters more writing characters. I don't know what I was thinking. And we had game for 100 people. In total, we had 192 sign-ups, where we randomly chose about 80 people for the game, and then we had the organizers. But it's not really wise to just well, it was 6 months before the game. But anyway, if you plan something for 50 people, don't just decide to double the characters for the game, even without sleeping overnight. So next time I'm deciding I'm doing something big, please come and say, don't do it alone. Please remember this. So what I have learned, I'm really good at planning, but I'm not good at follow-up. And I can see many familiar faces here who were also at Jokisilta. I know that for some people it was a great game, no problem. But for some it was not that good. Even CALEION was quite a disaster for myself. I was in burnout for next 3 years and didn't write anything. But I know that some people, the game was still good. For me, it was personal disaster and never again. But there were few people who had great game. Then there were the people who were having beer and discussing at bonfire that this game was awful. Yeah, I went and got drunk after that, but it was fun. So, after all these years, I can laugh about this. I have learned that, okay, you don't have to do everything by yourself. And I have learned that know your teammates. If you have problems speaking in public, tell it to your teammates. If you have problems following up deadlines, tell your people, okay, I need someone to look after me. So now I'm telling all of you, I am not the person to look after deadlines. Thank you.
Thank you, Riikka. I would like to point out that we have fantastic slides. Last year I had slides that were made on Keynote. The computer is Windows, does not read Keynote. So last year we had 2015 slideshow. This year we are having a slideshow with right names. That is great. So, my next speaker, Mika Loponen, has been in the Finnish role-playing scene since forever. Everybody remembers, or at least from that time in Helsinki and so on, remember his portrayals of sort of vampires and shit. And his adventures to the LARPs in foreign countries. He has been in charge of making sure that the Golden Dragon Award has been given out every year since, 2014. And I'm sure he will mention this in his fantastic presentations of the mistakes Mika Loponen has made.
Yay! Basically, all my mistakes have to do with preparation. Like, Massi asked me here to speak. I thought, oh, there's an hour of time. So I collected an hour's worth of mistakes, only to learn that it's 10 minutes. Second, as the panel was starting, I was sitting there and asked Jukka, what the fuck, this is in English? So, I'll just start with a quick anecdote on the game RIIKKA mentioned, Tuppula. I was there thinking that, oh, I might want to go to a LARP in Oulu. That's exotic. That's far away. That's rural. That's kind of meeting simple people and having fun. So I went there. I thought, okay, these people will be friendly, this will be nice. The first person I bump into is like, oh, you're in Helsinki, do you know what we love to do in Oulu? We shit in other people's sleeping bags. After the game, the guy came to me somewhat disappointed, like, I was thinking of shitting in your sleeping bag, but I forgot. And then he wandered off. But okay, onwards to the actual mistakes. This, basically, I might be the only person who has nearly managed to fuck up Ropecon, the whole event, 15 minutes before it started. Here are three short anecdotes that culminate into that. First a smaller one, then a bit larger one, and then that one. And I'll start on what I have learned about it. It's basically, after fucking up everything, just begging will typically help. There was a year, many years ago, when we arrived to Ropecon. This is a slight mistake. Anyone could have made it, but we collected into a circle like, now what have we forgotten to do? And okay, Golden Dragon winner. I can't remember who was responsible for the whole thing back then, but selected. Okay, everything we'll have them. We'll talk about that then. And who has bought the actual dragon? That was before we had them custom made. We sat in a small circle, looked at each other, like, oh fuck. Then started the blaming, like, was it your turn? No, I don't think so. We started going through the emails, and at one point it hit us like, fuck. We started going through the antique shops in Helsinki, trying to find anything that would resemble a dragon in any way, and a can of golden spray. Now, one of us found something that was actually a dragon, and in the end, it was actually quite a golden one. The winner of that year got quite a unique statue, so they I guess they shouldn't be sad about it. I don't think they know about it. I will not tell. The second one year, again, I will not tell which year, it was ages ago. Me and Jukka Seppänen, I think he's somewhere here, we were in horrible hangover on a Saturday morning. we wandered to the Dipoli car park like, my head hurts, this is horrible. Okay, let's now, we have a feeling that something has been forgotten, and we started going through the Golden Dragon thingamies, and yes, we had the short list, and we have the statue. This time we have the statue, and we have done everything. Did we select the winner? No. Quite many cups of hangover clearing coffee were drank. I think Heikku might have wandered to that parking lot also, and thus gotten into the ring of oh fuck, let's do this quickly. Everything went smoothly. The winner was good, and I will not tell the year. But yes, the last one. Quite the same vein. In 2005, me and Jukka were the main organizers of Ropecon, and 15 minutes before the entrance starts, we are at the parking lot. Like, now let's go through the to-do list once again. What have we done? We go tick by tick by tick by tick, and then Jukka says, "Okay, Mika. Did you do the fire inspection thing, with the fire department, you know?" I blanked out, like, He looked at me for 2 minutes or so, like, "You didn't do it, did you?" I'm like, there might be an answer to this, and it is not yes. There was some frantic calling around, which Jukka made while I sat quite embarrassed somewhere where he couldn't find me. It turned out that the fire department had its holiday season, so anyone who could actually do stuff about this, which should have been done quite long earlier, was on holiday. I guess there was half an hour of unlawful entrances to Dipoli for the event before Jukka somehow magically managed to get a fire chief, palopäällikkö there, who came there in Bermuda shorts and Hawaiian shirt and went multiple times like, "I just drove here from my cabin." "Do you understand? I just drove here from my cabin." I guess he spent 5 minutes inside before stammering yes and just going away. I guess there's a moral to these stories. These are kind of teaching moments, and what they have taught me is that if begging doesn't save you, and it usually does, at least luck will. Thank you.
Something tells about this Ropecon was almost destroyed because fire investigation thing is that this is the third time, I think, this is a story in this program item. Let's not do that again. My third and final speaker is Jukka Särkijärvi, who writes a very successful role-playing blog that you have all heard about, I'm sure. He has also a reputation on holding really hilarious presentations about D20 and Pathfinder and role-playing games in general. And on top of being an organizer of Ropecon for several years now, he has been dabbling into Worldcon as well, and is probably super stressed, but still found time to come here and talk to us. So give a big hand to Jukka Särkijärvi.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So when I got asked to do this, I checked out the previous installments of the series on YouTube. And they're basically all about LARP organizing. Thing is, I'm not a LARP runner. I GM tabletop role-playing games. And there's a bit of scale difference. When you screw up as a LARP organizer, there can be financial repercussions to the tune of hundreds or even thousands of euros. Tens of thousands if you're Klaus Rasted. You may end up with dozens of people stranded in a foreign country, or without food for a weekend, or something else very dramatic that it'll take a couple of years to recover from, enough that you can laugh about it. However, as a tabletop GM, while there's certainly potential for some really awful social damage in a gaming group, the blast radius is going to be smaller. At most, two people will never talk to one another, relationships may fail, campaigns die, and maybe someone has bought a rulebook they'll never get to use. Like bad stuff, but ultimately affecting a pretty small group of people. So it's a tough act to follow, but I'll try. So, as many of you may know, I'm heavily involved in organized play campaigns. Like these big global role-playing game campaigns. Like I can take my character and play it at Ropecon, at a Gen Con, at a game store in Tokyo. All part of the same campaign. It's glorious stuff when it works. And there's this wonderful sense of community and shared experience of playing the same adventures and dealing with the same elitistic bullshit from the story game crowd online. Anyway, the campaigns run on pre-written adventure modules. You sign up to the system, you download the files, print them out, read them, prepare the game. To ensure a level playing field, they're pretty strict about running stuff as written. And so before Pathfinder Society, which is my current poison of choice, there was Living Greyhawk. It was run by Wizards of the Coast. Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition rules. And this was back when I was but a callow youth, who still paid for his Ropecon entry with money, instead of being your dancing monkey. And I just got into the campaign the previous year, and I was asked to run a game. And not just any game. I was asked to premiere a new module for our region. I'd explain, but that's literally an entirely different 1 hour slot. 2 hours if I get my will through the next year. Suffice to say, it's not a big deal, but a moderate deal. And so, my first time DMing this campaign. I get the module, and I look at it, and sheesh, that's a lot of words. So I skim it, and yeah, this is D&D. I've been running this for 4 years. That it had been out at that time. I know the system like the back of my hand, except for the grapple rules. And I have a table rule for that. Do not invoke a rule system that you cannot handle yourself. Anyway, I'm lazy with the prep, and I mostly check the stat blocks, so there's nothing weird-ass I have to dig out a rulebook for, and the rest I can read at the table. Confident I can pull it off. I would have been about 19 at the time. Yeah. You can probably see where this is going already, but there's not enough dawning horror in your eyes. So I will now go off on a tangent about something seemingly unrelated that will then tie into the resolution of the events. So back in the 1980s, there was this satanic panic thing you may have heard of, about how D&D lures youth into darkness and drugs and premarital sex. Yeah, cool story, bro. And because of this, TSR, then the makers of Dungeons & Dragons, cleaned up their act and removed overt references to demons and wrote up the Standards of Content document. It's this Mickey Mouse list of stuff you can't have in an official D&D product. Very comics code, pretty much what you'd expect for such a document written up in the late 80s, early 90s by a bunch of Americans when the Christian right got on their case. Villains can be cool, no positive depiction of drugs, and absolutely no sex. So then, imagine my surprise. When we're like 2 hours into the game, I turn to the next encounter, I read it through. I read it through again just to be sure, apologize to the players, and tell them that the DM is loading. Read it once more, and realize that I am staring at what is still, to my knowledge, the first and only sex orgy scene ever published under the official brand of Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, whatever you're imagining happened next is probably both true and a lot more dramatic than what actually did happen, so I'll just fade that to black here. Moral of the story: read the damn adventure, because you never know when someone else's character is gonna get lucky.
Amazing. Thank you. I like this program item also because it makes us laugh, but also because it is very short. Because we can't do 2 hours of shame. Half an hour is enough. So go, enjoy your Ropecon. Do not invent your wheel again, and be happy. I will go to a wedding. Bye.